we have Rachel Caballero.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead and begin your comment.
Rachel Caballero, D1. I am the petitioner, the individual who filed the petition to remove Mayor Paulette Guajardo. I have not been paid, nor was I asked to do this. I love my community. I fight for my community, and the truth will be exposed. A lot of the information received by the first-timer public commenters, they are uninformed, and we'll leave it at that. The city charter violations, this is section 1A, 1, 2, and 3 of Article 2, show these are rules set by the council. This is the city charter. Willful violations of any code of ethics or conflicts of interest. Any prohibition of this charter, misconduct, malfeasance, incompetence, inability, or willful neglect, performance of official duties. These are all things that apply to this petition. If we want a better representatives, then we have to demand it, because we are not receiving the representation that we deserve as a community. This is not political theater. This is exposing the truth for what it is. We've been attending these meetings. We see the behaviors. We have the facts. We have the proof. And this is why we would like to proceed with the petition to remove the mayor. We have a lot of things happening, but we still have car washes being open, so business is continuing, and this is part of business right now. There's a code of ethics that we must require from elected representatives, and we are not getting that. We are not getting that, and we deserve this representation. Our community is worth fighting for. Our taxpayer dollars are worth fighting for. We deserve truth, honesty, and accountability, and we are not getting that. And I ask that the city council members to please move forward with this petition so that we can demand better from our elected representatives. This has been a very difficult journey having to get this done, and we need accountability. Now is the time. Thank you.
Hello, Alex Benavides, District 3. The city charter, I'm here to speak on the item 15, and this isn't political, but what we are is, this isn't a political thing, but the city councils for decades have been tying us to industry and selling us out. This is about new members that have come in and they've seen business done as usual. But the problem is that business done as usual has been corrupt. The old guard and the old members that have been here for a very, very long time, they thought that they can just push the new guys down and say, look, this is the way it's gonna be. But they're not staying quiet, and we have to get rid of the corruption in the city. We've lost confidence in the mayor. We've seen all the videos. We know about the winking. We know how you give deals to your friends. We do got to move forward as a city, as everybody is saying. But you can't move forward as a business when you leave a thief at your cash register. You just can't. You have to remove it. It's a cancer, right? So if we're going to move forward as a city, we have to do that. Remove the cancer. Remove the corruption, or else we can't really move forward. And the criminal burden of proof is what a lot of people for the mayor has been talking about, how they say there's nothing that's been done wrong. Well, the burden of proof in a criminal court is much different than the burden of proof in an ethics committee. The burden of proof in a criminal law is so that we make sure that we don't put innocent people behind bars or punish them. But that the burden of proof for the unethical commission is to make sure that the city residents are protected, and protected from people who are selling out our interests to anybody. They're selling contracts to we have councilmen voting for voting so that their companies get contracts to the city. We have politicians that are giving contracts to their donors. That's not what this is supposed to be about. And just because the new people came out and said, look, we're tired of seeing the corporation and we're going to make it corruption and we're going to make it change. I'd say with all the old guard coming out and saying something, we can see where the problems have lied. And it's corruption from the very get-go. So I applaud the council people who have come forward and say, I'm not scared to stand up. I have integrity, even if that means 4 other council members on here who are all from the old side, who are doing business as usual, and that is corrupt. They're standing up saying, we're not going to allow that to happen to our citizens any longer. So I vote that, or I ask that you guys vote to see this through and let the ethics committee take care of business. Thanks, have a good day.
Let's see here. Stephanie, you want to check to see if we've got Adam Alanis?
Yes, ma'am. We do have quite a few virtual and phone individuals online. First, we have up Sean Merritt. Sean, are you present still?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Please state your name, your city, and your comment.
Sean Merritt, District 5, and I was actually going to try to finish on my DSAL talk, but I have a more important subject to talk about. I'm medically retired from the United States military. I took an oath to defend the Constitution of this country against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and that oath doesn't end when you leave service, and it doesn't stop at the doors of this council chamber. Today, this council is considering a petition for removal. That makes what happens in this room matter, because accountability starts here. Over the past 2 years living here, I've watched the same patterns play out. Citizens sign up, they follow the process, they wait their turn, and when they step forward, they're required to publicly state their name and home address just to speak, even though you already have that info, even though you just called their name. That's redundancy, and it creates a choice that shouldn't exist. Speak up or keep your privacy. People shouldn't have to make that choice. And then once they do speak, here's what actually happens. A citizen wanted to use his 3 minutes to talk about aliens. He signed up properly. He was respectful. He had been trying to speak for weeks. He was shut down and run off. People in this room have been told that they would be removed for clapping, for chuckling, even for rolling their eyes. And a citizen speaking about domestic violence in this city just last week was called disgusting, twice. And others have been pushed until they lose their cool, and then they're removed by police or taken to jail. These are not hypotheticals. These are events that have happened in this room. Texas Government Code 551.007 is clear. You cannot prohibit public criticism of this body, and once you open this floor, the First Amendment applies. The Supreme Court said in Cohen versus California, offensive speech is still protected speech. That means the standard isn't whether something is like, it's whether it actually disrupts the meeting. You can address real disruption, but you cannot provoke it and then use it as a justification to remove somebody. That line matters, because when it's crossed, people stop speaking, not because they have nothing to say, but because they know what will happen if they do. This council isn't here to be comfortable. It's here to be accountable. The people don't come here to serve your ego. You were elected to serve everyone in this city and to uphold your oath to the Constitution, to the state, and of this nation. Nobody wants chaos, but we are demanding accountability to the people of this city. Apply the rules evenly, remove redundancy, respect the rights of everyone in this room, because the moment people feel they cannot speak freely in this room is the moment this government stops being accountable to the very people who elected you and put you in those high chairs that you're sitting in right now. And that is a line that should never, ever be crossed. Thank you for my time.
Okay, next.
Matthew Rankin, Corpus Christi, blatantly armed media. I'm going to do Constitution 101 and talk about the city attorney today. But to start things off, as I promised, yesterday I filed charges for criminal oppression against the mayor of Corpus Christi. Corpus PD made that a little difficult because they refused to even take the report, so I had to go a little higher up the chain. I'll keep you guys up to date whenever that process goes forward, what developments there are. So, Miles has told you guys if you wrote a rule down, It's a rule, and it has to be filed. You're Pharaoh, so let it be written, so let it be done. That's not the way the Constitution works. It's not the way state law works. So, I'm going to give you some examples, scenarios you can ask him to test his knowledge on what's legal and what's not. You guys require a name and address when coming up here. Maybe one day Jason can talk long enough to give you the case law, but I'll tell you that it involves witness protection, retaliation cases, and domestic violence victims who fear retaliation or stalkers coming after them, which is why you don't have to give your name and address. But let's take it a little bit farther. Can you write a decorum rule saying when I come up here, I have to give you my date of birth, I have to give you my social, my phone number, password to my Facebook account? If you write it as a rule, do I have to do it? So let it be written. You say we have to come up to the podium and address you by title. Can the mayor change her name to Der Fuhrer? And when I come up to the podium, I have to give a little salute? Can you do that? I don't think so. Probably not. No clapping for the audience. That's probably one of the few things that's legal for you guys to actually have in decorum rules. But can you make a decorum rule saying that when the mayor speaks, you have to clap? There's dictators in history, quite a few of them, that there's little apocryphal stories where the first person to stop clapping got sent to the gulag, that kind of thing. So, can you require somebody to come up here and clap? No. So, I see there's pretty much 3 reasons possible for why Miles is telling you this kind of stuff. 1, he's just an idiot. 2 would be that he's telling you what you want to hear. In that case, he's violated his oath he took when he joined the bar because he's ignoring case law. 3 would be he's one of the dozens of city attorneys around this country who favor tyranny if it increases their power or increases the power of the city government, sees local government as the people serve them instead of the other way around. I don't know which one it is, but ask him the questions, find out for yourself.
Christina McKay?
Christina McKay, District 1. Facebook is for pictures of your grandkids and for promposals. It is not meant for making government announcements. It's also 2 weeks out, and I haven't been able to find the special desal meeting the mayor announced on Facebook anywhere on the city website, so that's confusing. I also don't want to be friends with the mayor on Facebook to be able to follow the city. I'd like to encourage the council and mayor to take item 15 seriously. Please dismiss perceptions of community drama or personal feelings you may hold about the people involved. Instead, focus on the fact that each signature on this petition represents a person who is trying to communicate with you. Each name is a person expressing that they do not want to be represented by a documented liar. I'd also like to remind everyone that Bill Clinton was not impeached for having an affair, for participating in sexual relations, or even for sexual harassment or abuse of power. Bill Clinton was impeached for perjury and obstruction of justice, lying under oath during a deposition. We often remember him ultimately beating that case, but collectively we forget that he was fined over $100,000 and his law license was suspended. He received consequences. I will not apologize for wanting to spend time or money in pursuit of ethical governance. I also noticed that the mayor didn't comment on the outburst after the mention of Rachel Caballro's work in the community. Selective enforcement of decorum is a hallmark of this body. Public comment should be held on Monday evening, Tuesday at noon, and at each item. Virtual participants should have equal access at each of the time we're able to do it, and it's disgusting that we don't.